I've been here for 8 minutes just answering comments. There's no reason I couldn't have been live. What up? That ain't right. Hold on. Capless fuel tanks are stupid. Agreed. Beauty is in the eye of the beer holder. And I'm getting lit. And I'm holding one. What's up, everybody? Well, I can't stand you either. Disposable plastic junk. Yeah, with 702 horsepower and 14 inches of suspension travel. No heated and vented seats? Scrap it. This is Dead Dodge Garage Live, I guess. Angry typing. Oh, that's cat. The moment I go live, the cats arrive. That checks out. Do I have any cat pictures? I mean, I have cat pictures. I just mean like new ones, fresh ones, current ones. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Yeah, strike day for the first musical. Oh, there we go. Now we got, that's a cat on a burrito. I love that. The amazing two-butted cat. Strike day. Oh, did Alan get his Galaxy? I didn't know that. When did I turn British? My DNA test says I started out that way. Tonight's libation is the Schilling Strawberry Rube Awakening, and I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I do. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. I've had my voice. Everything's been fine. No. Yeah, not that late. I actually got home at 5:52. I just didn't. Yeah. Happy Sunday, Alan. McLovin is not with us tonight. Everybody be good. I guess I should pop this open. 2 years ago? Little Red Express truck. Just Mopar Joe. 2 years ago is when he first... Is that even the same Little Red Express? Huh. That doesn't feel like he's been working on it that long. But what do I know? Fairlane. Okay. See, yeah, that makes more sense. Brian Mohan says, you are relentless. I cannot believe the amount of time you spend online. I am relentless. Here's the thing. I actually, Rob just poured his beer in his lap. I needed space for footage the other week. And so I deleted the Facebook app and the YouTube Studio app. And the YouTube Studio app is the app that lets you keep an eye on your analytics 24/7 and read comments. And this has been so great because now to read comments and check in on analytics and care about what videos are doing, I actually have to come to a computer. And what that means is I can't obsessively read and respond to comments all day long, which means I'm generally in a better mood. And not having Facebook, that's also quite good. But anyway, oh yes, also I cleaned the studio. I got the wall of amps resituated. I've got my synth over here on the Rhodes. Many things have changed. There's a Dart poster now. This is an award that I got from the local newspaper for having voted the best auto repair shop or oil change place in Grays Harbor, 2022 or 21. Yeah, 20. It doesn't matter. Yes, Brian, you've just confirmed my comment. Well, what I'm saying is, I peaked already. What I'm saying is I'm spending way less time online. Like, this thing has been telling me I'm online on the phone anyway, between 5.5 and 6.5 hours a day. Now, a lot of that is filming, but it still counts. It is now down to 4.5, which is still a lot. You know, I watch YouTube videos in the morning. Some of that is just listening to YouTube videos. And a lot of it's filming. But the point is, it's less. Jeff Militich, do you have a good frame shop nearby? Yeah, there's one in Olympia. Drum solo? I could do a drum solo. I have to make sure the background noise is... All right, drum solo. Hang on. Hang on, I got to move the cat's blanket. Things move. Good enough. Dogs are barking in the distance. Wipe out! I've done that. Done that before. Brian Mohan, do you ever make music for us on these broadcasts? You've answered. I used to open with a song every night, but I got tired of it. And then I used to close with a song every night. And then I got tired of that. Roadkill's in the house. How's it going? Wipe out! Can you play Love Gun? I actually can. I mean, I could do the Led Zeppelin version. I don't actually remember what it is. I don't remember how the original goes at all. Tavo says you do drums better than me, and I only do drums. Thank you. Thank you. I was a drummer in a band for a time, and I have recorded many, many a drum parts. You can't pick up a Rick and not play Motorhead. I got to pick up a pick to do Lemmy. You're supposed to play that with a pick too. It's hard without one. Anyway, Wubba Lab is in the house. Dan IT Guy's in the house too. How's it going? Mohawk62 is here. What is up? David's here. Joey Ramone started as the drummer. I did not know that. Dead Cougar Garage in the house. Squirrelitis also here. DTLA Kings fan. I already saw a comment from. Nice. Oh, Mark Cornett guy saw a comment. I have a new troll. I'm taking it well. What is his name? I don't know it. It doesn't matter because he's a worthless piece of human garbage. But he had a comment on today's video, which basically he insists that I'm a terrible mechanic and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a failed mechanic and now I've turned into an entertainer. But at the end of today's comment, he said that I have charisma. That was nice. Anyway, I put that award for having the best local repair shop. That is my name, Atwood Engine Services. That is my old business. We were the highest rated local auto repair shop, and we won an award from the newspaper. So I put it on the wall just for that guy. And when I get a YouTube plaque, this is where I'd put my 100,000 subscriber plaque if I had one. It'll go right there. I have so much charisma, even the trolls agree I have charisma. Jeff R. throwing things. That is a cat. Aw. Don't let the turds get you down. No, I know. It's fun. He's like punching bag. It's trolls aren't real people. You could say whatever you want to them. So I do. And if you find his comments on whatever videos, you will also find my responses. I called him my least favorite anal polyp the other day. Anyway. Apparently we'll have header gaskets for Mark's car on Wednesday. Good. World-class mechanic. See, that's what I said. I'm the guy they call when they can't figure it out. Literally. Yeah, I mean, I've known some talented mechanics, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn when I say I'm actually a pretty good one. Now, there is a difference between, and I've tried to explain this so many times, between like working on an actual car for a customer or like a nice car that is deserving of nice work and working on the pieces of garbage I work on for fun. There's such a huge difference. Like, it shouldn't be hard to understand. But anyway, IH would trust me with a tank. Well, I don't think tanks are too hard. My ship works better when I kick it. Mark Shreve likes my TRX. I watched the video. Nice! I will indeed probably get a plaque soon. Although I need to beg for subscribers more because it's just taking forever. Chris Greenhill's the only one allowed to troll me. Nothing wrong with being an entertainer. No, it pays pretty good money, it turns out. This is not my first troll. It's just my latest troll. Shannon78 Monty got the 305 thrown in the El Camino, then sat down for a beer and saw the lives going. Well, welcome. Good job. Schneids. Hey, aren't you that guy with the sweet TRX? Yes. Yes, I am, and I am so stoked. Chris was not expecting Lemmy to host the show tonight. I can't really do Lemmy. Maybe I can. Gopher Garage says, dude, supercharger for the win. Love the sound of the new to you TRX. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. The Ace of Spades. Jimby says, Jamie, liftgate power wagon engine when? It's got an engine. It ran. After my video, it ran. But I think Tom's just going to sell it. So, A Deep Onion watched the new Ram video. Happy for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mope Man's in the house. What's up? Have to troubleshoot a wandering timing issue on a Poly 318 this week. Well, good luck. I have a couple guesses. Excuse me. Rebobert says the TRX is a great vehicle to watch someone else own. I couldn't possibly own one. When you said door control module, you lost me. And I get that. I don't blame anyone for being disinterested in newer vehicles. I am interested in some of them. Certain ones. Fun ones that I have an appreciation and a connection for and to. But anyway, you don't need to be, you let me worry about the door control modules. Before I got on, Dan Orcutt gifted 10 DDG memberships. Thank you, Dan. But it can do cool jumps. Exactly. And it's going to do cool jumps. And as far as being ugly, the RHO that I drove, the black one, I fell in love with that truck. I would much rather have a black one than a white one, which is funny because I've had lots of white trucks as well. That was like my go-to for a few trucks there. But anyway. Oh, yes. I did finally replace the banner after we were talking about it. Was that last week? I think it was last week. I finally put up, it was the 4th of July or the 5th of July or whatever. And so I put up the red, white, and blue, which was a shot I was waiting. It was a shot 3 years in the making, something like that. Because I knew, I painted the Barracuda white because I wanted a white backdrop to put logos and pinstriping and stickers and stuff on. But I also just, wanted it to be white. It had been white before. But also red, white, and blue. Charger, Barracuda, Demon. And so when I had the red and the blue and the Barracuda, some of the paint had been scraped off and it was white, I was like, it's got to be white. So now I have it. But anyway. Top Fuel Tony. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to finish watching his video. Don't spoil the ending for me. Way earlier in the comments, Mopar Brunkster was here. Connor Burke said hi to Squirrelitis. The Real RD went to bed. Mostly Mopar said Hellcat sounds for the win. Dude, I love it. Skid E asked if anyone attended Mopar Nats in Woodburn today. So I considered it, but ooh. Someone just posted all the adult toys from Dodge in the community room. And they're all beautiful. Man, I like tin grill trucks. I was invited to go to Woodburn and camp out with the Mopar, with my friend Tim's car club. And they were racing, and I could have done that, except I had to do the whole strike thing. So I did consider it because after I wasn't able to race last week, I thought, well, I could just take the Barracuda to that. And it's still got the 48s, which will probably be a little better for quarter mile than what I'm going to put in it. But alas, it was not meant to be. I could not miss today. So anyway. Yes, the red, white, and blue. Yes, good. Glad someone noticed. Crash's Roadrunner Garage is here, or was anyway. Chevrolet 402, James Frank, Martin Baumforth, Tapman Dan. Cyberbullying and peer pressure works, says Chris. Nice. Did I say hi to Mopar Brunkster? I think I did. Lumpy's here. Uncle Duck. Kerosene cucumbers. Nice. Yes, the studio's looking... Oh, Classic Dude Mike is also here. What did he say? Where did it go? Where did it go? I scrolled away. The lengths you go to sometimes is amazing. Agreed. Jeff Hutchins picked up a 91 single rear wheel D350 EFI roller cam automatic. Great original grill seats and dash. Straight body. Bad gold paint. Dirty carpet. $650. I'd make that deal. Easy. It is not the night for mischief. It's the night to behave. No cats in the studio, no. And my dog is banned. Coy Boy says, wish I still had my 79 Low Red Express. My brother put a 413 in. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. New York was cold in January. I believe you. Good evening, Stacy. How's it going? Tin Grills for the win. That's right. Brian Mohan. I have the option of watching you or Rear Window. I don't know what that is. Wide door control module. So I don't think I can answer that question. Robbie Stingle, did you know nobody makes air shocks for an M-body Plymouth? Can you not fit the A-body ones? A-body, B-body ones? Aw. My sister's here. Wow. Maybe she'll do some modding since McLovin is not with us tonight. Coy boy, I have a 1989 Dodge D150 with automatic A500 overdrive transmission. Do I need a high stall or low stall? I don't know. No idea. Dealer's choice, I think. Scott Powell ordered stickers and got stickers. It doesn't take much to make me happy. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. How am I peaking at that level? That's crazy. And if you have not gotten stickers that you ordered, I apologize. But my printing company has started using friggin' Amazon to ship stickers out. And it's maddening. Stacy just sent me a picture. He said it's the most... Amazon has lost 3 sticker orders so far in the space of, I think 1 a week. I'm going to set... I shouldn't say that on the internet. I would say it in real life. Anyway, Stacy just sent me a picture of a Challenger towing a D-Series, and apparently the Challenger has a 12 valve. Like the fender exhaust. I like it. Apparently that's the most Alberta thing we'll ever see. Nice. Oh, I'm going to take a nap. Yeah, high stall, low stall. I don't actually know any reasoning between which one was used for what. I have no idea. Low stall, slightly more efficient. High stall, slightly better for power. Slightly. But it's not a very big difference. Squirrelitis says vinyl tops on 60s, 70s cars look great but are horrid. Yeah. It just looks right on a 68 Charger. I mean, it's going to make rust happen, but it's still cool. Tilt the mic? How do you figure? Squirrelitis, can I have a comment/gripe? Of course. I would be upset if you didn't. The rust belt's fun on vehicles. Yeah. Roadkill says, yes, the TRX is cool. It makes the right sounds. I love it. Yep. Yeah, what Schneid said. It's so much more enjoyable not caring all that much. Yeah, with your own junk, with your own car, than having to do everything right on a stupid, expensive customer car. Exactly. Here's the thing. I like doing nice work for myself, too, when the situation calls for it. I didn't realize I left Dan's comment up all that time. When the situation calls for it, when the car calls for it, you can bet your ass everything I do on Dale's Demon will be not perfect, but to the letter as good as one could do at home, you know? But for like other cars, it doesn't matter. It's almost... I like to have fun, and it's almost more fun to do things a crappy way. You don't have to worry about it. If you're working on a car that doesn't deserve perfection, I advocate for not attempting perfection. You got to know, you just have to understand the context. You have to know what you're working on. And I always do. Driveway Misfit said, TRX, all the things. And then Roland said, nah, perky everything. I'm not going to do either of those. Anyway. Mother, I was late because I had stuff to do. Not just for genetic reasons. One Datsun lover asked, is the TRX a replacement for your current newer Ram or an addition to the family? It is separate. I think this fell. I feel like I'm craning my neck. It is separate. The gray truck is my guy. I love that truck. I'm not trying to get rid of it. The TRX is just for fun. Now, when it is on the road, I suppose there's a chance that I would decide I just like this better and I'm not going to use the other truck, but I don't think so. The TRX is for fun. Now, if I can get it ready in time, I am strongly considering towing my race car to the No Name Nationals with it. Unfortunately, it will get probably 4 less miles a gallon. Which when you're driving 4,000 miles hurts, especially with today's fuel prices. But it would also be epic. And if my race car breaks, then I can race the TRX. So I'm not guaranteeing that happens, but that is my secret dream. However, the middle of summer would also be a really good time to it's not the middle of summer, but it's still quite hot in the south around that time, and that would be a great time to have those vented seats, which the TRX does not have. So we'll see. The AC, I will tell you, in that thing is mint. Works real good. David wants to know, have you worked on a 1981 Imperial? No. Almost bought one a year ago. I didn't. I don't feel bad for not buying it, but I would have liked to mess with it. Will B is here from toasty 107 degree Idaho Falls, Idaho. Nope, it wasn't obvious you were as happy as a kid on Christmas morning with that big smile when the TRX moved on its own. Yeah, that was a good moment. Good moment. Skid Brent, can one completely remove the intermediate shifter shaft from a column shift steering column when switching the bulls and color to 4-shift style? Yeah, I think so. I've done this. Hang on, let me think about it. Did I actually remove the shift tube? I think I did. I did this for Tracy's 1973 Charger. And I think I showed it in a video. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, I might not have shown it. I think I took it. I do think I took it out, though. I mean, there's no... Are the sleevey thingies at the bottom different? They might be. No, because it comes out here. I believe you can just take it out. I don't think that should be any problem. Sweet jumps. Cleveland Maker. Hello, Jamie. When will we see another video on the big C body? The Golden Lion would be great. The Golden Lion car was the 1959 Chrysler Saratoga, and I got rid of that. I've got a video coming on the V-Code 6-barrel Sports Fury. In fact, you might have seen that today, but I got TRX progress done. So, yes, TRX is the business rig. That's right. Skid says, seems like the lower collar needs it to hold on to with that set screw, but that doesn't make sense because the lower collar, the back part, no, it should screw into that surroundy piece because it can't screw into the shift shaft. The shift shaft moves. It screws into that. We just had a column apart in the 1971 satellite video, but we kept the column shift guts. So, I don't know what Rear Window is. If it's on Turner Classic Movies. Yeah, 1954. Okay. Interesting. So it's between me and Rear Window, and I'm winning. I'll take it. Thanks. Interesting. Wendell. That's a name. Say shift shaft 5 times fast. I will not do that. Brendan Pixley said, so no TRX the musical? Oh, I like it. I like it. Cat. Don't mind me. Dirt Diver had a GMC truck that got similar damage from an accident last year. I fixed. Pretty much went through the same problems as you. Yeah, there you go. Answer 14. Did I miss the finish on the Blue Big Block Dart? No. I literally 3 days ago received a $560 box from Brewers of all the 4-speed parts that I need for that project. So with that stuff in hand, I can now put the engine and bell housing back in after I fix the bell housing with a flywheel and clutch with everything actually ready to go and finish the 4-speed setup. That is why I haven't put the engine back in, because I didn't have any of that stuff. So like, what's the point? So one of two things is going to happen for Wednesday. Either the engine will go back in that car and we'll get as far as we can, but probably not far enough to actually hear it run, or we will see Mark's car. And I'm not sure which yet. Brendan Pixley, every YouTuber getting cool cars and business deductions. You know, if I was smart and I'd turned my YouTube channel into a business 2 years ago, then yes. I am about to do that. Anyway, John Hibbard said, I enjoyed the TRX video. Kind of nice seeing you work on a modern vehicle. Not that I don't enjoy the classic stuff. Understood. Yeah, I was a regular mechanic for 7 years. I've worked on all kinds of modern stuff. And I hated a lot of it. But anyway, who is Mark? Mark is Mark. He's here. He owns the black Mexican Dart and a 68 Barracuda. Unplug the door module and see what stops working. I know what will stop working. The window, the mirror, and the electric lock in the driver door. Hippie Long, Jamie, is Rocket off at Carlisle? No. Rooster's here. How's it going? The hills are alive with the sound of Hammy. David's headed to bed because it's late in Tennessee. Take it easy. And if it's that easy, take it twice. Oh, rear window is Hitchcock. Okay. Overbuild Automotive is here. Not too late. Been cooking garlic, pepper, cheddar hamburgers. Dude, that sounds good. Oh, Death Proof mentioned. Someone posted the chase scene. Where were we? We just saw a Grindhouse reference. Where was it? I don't remember. Remember, Red Bull gives you wings. The classic dude Mike. The door module's there to talk to the iPad on the dashboard. No, it makes everything electric in the door work. But, I mean, we all know that everything electric in the door worked before the time of door modules. So, is it actually better? I don't know. You know, yeah, I don't know. I could see if it like decentralized stuff and made the wiring into the door simpler. That might make sense. But there's still a harness this big that goes into the door. So like, anyway, Bowtie Classics. Hey, Jamie. Hi, Bowtie Classics. Great video on the TRX today. Been waiting on that one. You and me both, bud. Will the Dodge dealer not let you return that overpriced manifold? No, they won't take anything back that was special ordered. Because Chrysler, Stellantis, Ram, Dodge, Fiat, Mercedes-Benz, Lamborghini, DeSoto won't let them return anything. It's crazy. It's stupid. Anyway. Dean's here. How's it going, Dean? Like number 88.5. Jeff Hutchins, imagine a TRX with no screen, no control modules, etc. Just stripped down power and suspension plus less weight and money. So I don't want to imagine that. Actually, I realized something that I hadn't realized before. I'm going to show you, and then maybe we'll all go, oh, hang on. So I have some Hot Wheels trucks. Not many, but some. Look at this. Wide body. Off-road race truck. What was this guy's name? It's not Rod Hall. It's the other one. Well, it actually says Viteski on it, but it's based on not Rod Hall, the other one. Yeah, TRX's jump truck. Exactly. Perfect cars take forever to build. That's why I don't build perfect cars. Wow, my sister is stepping up the game, the mod game, and she posted a link to the merch store. Please go to the merch store and buy stuff, because I need money for TRX parts. Anyway, it's a TRX. It's not, but it pretty much is. And you know what's awesome? Now I'm looking at this and thinking, maybe I need to do some vintage race truck graphics. Be pretty sick. Anyway. But this is what they made. I mean, it's modern, but it's this. Wide body truck. Wide body off-road race truck. It's sick. I just saw that on my Hot Wheels shelf yesterday. My Henry hot dog was over here, and I gave him a bunch of Hot Wheels, and we were just going through some random stuff, and I saw that, and I thought, wait a minute, that's a TRX from the 80s. Anyway, Cadence Fox wants to know, what kind of music do you play? We have both kinds, country and Western. I was in a stoner metal band called Whitewood Funk from 2010 to... we technically never broke up, but we have decided we're never playing again after the last reunion in December. Before that, I was in a blues rock band / classic rock cover band. I was in another blues rock / classic rock cover band before my current band, which is Morning Orange, which is sort of like metal... backwoods prog is how it has been described by certain people. I have been involved in many genres of music. I've written a few outlaw country songs. David, do you have coffee cups yet in your merch store? No, because my company introduced coffee cups, and I had some test prints done, and you can almost see it in that light. It's crap. It's terrible. There's a line, and there's weird coloration, and it's super dark, and it's just not good. I think this one... Is it this one? One of them's really bad. I'm not seeing it in this light so much, but there are obvious lines, like, there you go. See that blue color? And then it kind of fades away. It's just crap. So I'm not going to sell crap. Johnny Grossa, where's the proper location for the Dead Dodge Garage Scrap Pack Club sticker on my 65 Barracuda? 65 Barracuda, you could do the back glass if you want. That's where I have been putting stickers on mine. But the traditional spot for the Scrap Pack sticker is the Scat Pack sticker location, which is the quarter glass. So the lower corner all the way back in the quarter glass. If you have other stickers there, you can improvise a little bit. Do whatever you want, really. But Stacy's mom, I've heard she's got it going on. The current score is Amazon 3, USPS 1. Yeah. Fiberglass fenders, yes. Has your mom won a membership? No. Jesse, the new Lincoln Aviators are even worse than the TRX. I already knew that without you telling me. And I know nothing about them. The door latch is a module, and for replacement, you do have to program them. That is some BS. Scott Sullivan, I watched an interview of Les Claypool this week. Was it Rick Beato? Because I've watched it twice. It's amazing. That interview is why I started liking him and went to see Claypool Gold in Oregon. He is quite the guy. Reminded me of you on your music-heavy lives. It was shocking how much he reminded me of an older you. Yes. I'll take it. M-Body has stud on top, loop on bottom. Seems like there's got to be an air shock out there like that, but I don't know where to find it. Did the dog drop a deuce? Yes. Yes, she did. Jeff R., how's the book? Chapter 4 done? Very funny. I'm almost done with Chapter 3, actually. Schneids, whatever happened to that W200 crew cab that you abandoned in the woods? They say it's still there to this very day. I've long wanted to do something with that truck. The problem is the cab is shot, so, like, what am I going to do? No Beret has finally made it back to be professionally entertained. How's it going, No Beret? It's been a minute, as the kids are saying. Marty from St. Augustine also here. Really enjoyed the TRX video. Congrats. Looking forward to more on the build. Me too. Is that poster low on the right side, or is it the camera? I think it's the camera. It looks pretty straight in here. Yeah, this might be... Yeah, well, yeah, look at the top of the door. My camera got tilted, I guess. Wait, did that make it better or worse? Oh. I don't know. There's no fixing it. Anyway, we'll just all have to get used to that. Gary Hergert drove Tom's 72 Polera to the Langley BC Mopar show today. Apparently that car is like a fly on poop for Rocket and Dead Dodge Garage viewers. So, a gentleman named Cop Car Steve, I mean, I don't think that's what he was named at birth, but that's what he goes by, has messaged me through a Facebook ad a couple times. He watches my videos. He has sent me a bunch of these like minute-long car show clips. So he'll be at a car show and he'll just get a clip of a car. And he sent a comment as though he was sending one of a car, but the video didn't actually come through. But what did come through was a comment that said, I know the video is a little long, but where are you ever going to see one of these? The first picture says 72 Polera, owner Gary Hergert, ex-Washington State Patrol car. And the second picture is, obviously, Tom's Polera. So I responded literally at Tom's house because that's his car. Hilarious. I mean, I've not only have I seen it many times, I've also worked on it. There we go. Yeah, Rob Fitch put up a picture of the proper Scrap Pack Club decal placement. Will Donnie come out again to paint your TRX? I mean, if I asked nicely enough. Gary Kuhn asked if I was going to try my hand at painting the door/fender. You know, I thought about it, but I will probably have a local paint shop do it. Probably. It's worth it on that truck to have it done right. It is literally worth investing actual money in. And so I will probably just have a real painter do it. The Little Red Express was the fastest thing on the street in 1978. Mark says, white trucks are awesome. They hide the grime way better. Oh, I know. Older, not necessarily wiser, said that TRX should keep you busy for a while, but it sure will be something when you're done. Yes, absolutely. I am looking forward to it. Oh, Scott Sullivan said, I think the 1981 Imperial owner had an unasked question about lean burn or the TBI system. Wish they asked the question. I don't know if they did. Maybe they were just interesting, but anyway. Maybe they just thought they were interesting. Is that what I said? I don't know. It's so hard to match paint yourself. Yeah, especially me. I'm not that guy. Brian Mohan, do you know anyone from Roadkill? No, but my brother and I once drove from here to Reno, Nevada No, it was to Vegas. Sorry. I got married in Reno. we met Roadkill in Vegas at EBC Breaks. They had an event where they just had like a meetup thing, and we were like, we could drive to Nevada, why not? So we did, and we met them, and they were giving away sets of EBC Breaks, and my brother and I won because we drove the farthest by like 2 states. Anyway. Yeah, let a real painter do it. It's just not. Yeah. Roadkill, I know I said it in the video comments, but did anyone else notice that the TRX grill and hood scoop look like the front bumper on the 71, 74 satellite coupes? I had not really noticed that. There's a weird... there's a weird 3-wheeled thing that Aging Wheels has done video on, and every time I see the TRX from the front angle, I think of that. I don't know that the grill is actually the same shape, but it's a similar looking, and it's because the TRX is so bulgy, like you only see fender, and so it just looks like the shape of that thing, and it's really weird. But when you see the TRX in the 3/4 angle, it's good. Anyway, Bell James is in the house. How's it going, Bell James? What's good in the hood? How's your old, the thing, the B-body? I want to call it a Coronet. I know it's a Cordoba, but... Ben Terry says, how am I late for something I was waiting for? I do not know, but welcome. Senior and Sons shunt wire is in. Thank you for the guidance. Awesome. You're welcome. Did you add a fusible link or something? 00 Savage, can a frame rack return the TRX back to factory spec? I sure hope so. I'm kind of relying on that. Robobert, didn't you get a Beetle? What happened to that? It's in the driveway. I showed it in a video week ago? Something like that. Did I forget your birthday? It's a miracle I remember, like, my wife's birthday. I do. Gopher Garage says, Duct Tape Drags in October at Firebird Raceway this year. I'll definitely be there. I'm considering it, but we will see how I feel after No Name. Gary Kuhn, you ever listen to the Mountain Goats? Hold on. I believe... Yeah, yes. All I have to say to that is, I hope you die. I hope we both die. I hope I die. I hope we both die. Whatever. With no friggin' children. Yes. Yeah, the camera's like, no. The perspective's off. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Rick Beato. I've been watching a lot of his stuff. No one can have my rapid transit system poster. Hippie Long has spent time with Claypool. That's sick. When we went, I could have paid for the fancy meet the band meet and greet thing, and I just didn't want to be that guy. I'm not. Claypool is definitely, I count him among my heroes at this point, but but I don't need to do that. I saw Steel Beans play, and I didn't want to bother him with a handshake and telling him he was awesome because he had to go play the Gorge the next day. Answer 14. Is 700 to 7 horsepower what you are looking for? Snorty, jumpy, bumpy, and cool. Well, the TRX has 702 horsepower because by that time they had the 717 upgrade tune in the cars, but then the restrictive air cleaner / cold ram air / water fording, the giant crazy air filter system in the TRX reduces the horsepower. 702. Yeah, Sean Lennon. Yep. Claypool Lennon Delirium. I was wearing a Claypool Lennon Delirium shirt earlier, but I didn't want to get it dirty tearing down sets. Yeah, I've been watching lots of Rick's videos. Or listening to them anyway. Chrysler, Abarth, Alfa Romeo, Lancia, Maserati, Peugeot, Citroen, Opel, Vauxhall. Yeah, exactly. A stoner metal band from 2010 to I can't remember when. So the funny thing about me being in a stoner metal band is that I've never been a stoner. And that's not to say I've never partaken, but I've never been that guy. But more power to you. Later down the line on the TRX, asks DJS5344, do you plan on making the supercharger louder or keeping it the way it is? I'm not doing a single thing. Under load, it will be plenty loud. You got to realize it's making no boost sitting there. Hippie Long, Jamie, get a local maker for your cups. I bet we'd pay $5 more each for that. Okay, here's the problem. R Hill says, our Renaissance man. Thank you, appreciate that. I'm trying. Here's the problem with I would love few things more than to work with a local printing company for my shirts, a local company to cut stickers, to do all of that. But then, instead of being a YouTuber, I now am just running a merch company. I don't want that. So the company that I use is really good on the stick, you know what I'm trying to say, the stickers. I tried to say shirts and stickers at the same time. Mouth can't keep up. That's cute. Hold on, I can't hear you. I'm on my kitty laptop. I don't touch the merch. It is all printed off-site at other facilities across the world. As a matter of fact, if you are in Australia and you order merch, it is printed in Australia. If you are in America, it is printed in America. And then there's a printer, there's one in the UK. They're all over. But I don't touch it. I do a design, I do a proof, or 3, and then I put it up to order, and it is made to order by the printer. I cannot deal with shipping merch out. I can't do it. I won't do it. It wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't ever go anywhere. And I've thought of trying to find like someone else who can maybe handle merch orders or ship things. Like people keep asking about signed copies of the book when the book's done. And I would love to do that. But then I have to mail out copies of a book. I'm not going to do that. It just won't happen. So I have to pick my battles. And if I can't easily get the company that already does everything else and is already integrated into my store and it's just everything works, if I can't get a quality product from them, I just won't have the product. Like Hot Shoe was making leather key tags, and I have a couple examples. They're super cool. But as I explained to him, here's the problem. He wanted to make a batch of them, send them to me, and let me sell them, and or send them out even as membership things, and that would be awesome. But if I have to do it, if I have to be involved, if I have to mail it, it will simply never be mailed. So it just doesn't. That does not work for me, unfortunately. Answer 14 listens to metal and hard rock. It's just what I like. Did someone confuse your studio music room for Bob's Country Bunker? Yeah, me. I am drowning. There is no sign of land. You are coming down with me. Hand in unlovable hand, and I hope I die. Mohawk 62 is out. Something about dinner being ready. We will see you later. Jeff Hutchins would rather have the old Baja Racer. I understand that. I have wanted to build one of these for a very long time. But I have a TRX now. So, excuse me. Why are we talking about CBGBs? Johnny Grassa, do you think Courtney killed Kurt? No, she has an alibi. Walker Evans. Yeah, that's the other guy. Ba, 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 ba. Find tires for the TRX. I have not yet. Norm 1200 is here. How's it going? You'll have your last laugh. Stellantis is doomed. I truly think you are wrong. I really do. And I think the proof is in the pudding on Ram truck sales right now. They've gotten their asses handed to them on the new Charger escapade. Stellantis management has gotten a serious lesson in how things work here in America. I do not believe they are doomed. I think that's wrong. They certainly made some mistakes, though. Jesse5436 on the 66 Barracuda, would a block plate help with some of the clutch issues? No. I kind of wish I had a block plate to protect my block, but no. Never such a thing as too much garlic, says Will B. Are you sure? I feel like there is such a thing. Schneids, did that Cummins crew cab service truck ever get done? Sore subject. It's in the background of like all the videos around here. Death Proof rocks. Boom, boo doo 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 doo. Answer 14. The challenges of the chassis on the TRX does not concern you. Well, it concerns me, but I know where to find frame rack. And I also think I could do some straightening myself, given some time and the proper equipment, and I may. Yeah, it definitely concerns me. And the thing is, initially we thought it was just the ears for the control arms that were bent, because it looked like the braking ball joints and spindle stuff had taken the brunt of the impact. Unfortunately, it did actually kick the frame in a little bit as well. So anyway, Effie Gardner is finally not sick anymore, just Mopar sick. Nice. Brian Mohan says, favorite Mopar? 1968 Dodge Charger. Dead Cougar Garage, when am I on the work schedule now that you're a business again? Not that kind of business. Yeah, no. Raymond Cabell was here and is out. Too warm Winnipeg, 100 to 105 Fahrenheit. Ugh. Oh, Jeff R., get your autograph printed in the preface, and everyone will get an autograph copy. I don't think that's the same. Robert Lee, is Dodge going to come out with a 5.2 liter Hemi? Someone told me that. I don't know anything about it. I am assuming it's rumored somewhere. Yep, Mopar Insiders. 5.2 liter in the past. Well, yeah, 1956 or whatever. I don't. I don't know. TK Garage says there is a 5.2 liter dual overhead cam Hemi coming. I'll believe it when I see it. But apparently if TK says it, everyone just automatically assumes it's correct. Oh, McLovin's here? Oh, he said he wasn't going to make it. How's it going? Mark, I would rather you didn't tell people where I live, if that's all right. Because here's the thing about people. They show up at my goddamn house. They just wander in. I would rather they did not. I don't exactly go to like great lengths to hide where I live, but I don't advertise it. .318 Hemi sounds weird. Dual overhead cam Hemi sounds weird too. You cannot have a dual overhead cam Hemi. Well, I mean, kind of. Matter of fact, Chrysler built a dual overhead cam Hemi in 1966, 7? Something like that. Hemispherical chamber, opposed valves with cams on top. Yeah. It was not big enough for my liking. Robert thinks they should go bigger than 392. Well, 5.2 V12. My sister's going back to bed. Yeah, it's coming. No, we don't say, yes, it's coming. We say, yes, it's rumored to be coming. Because until it actually exists, it doesn't exist. That AMC guy, did you ever order a shift cable for the 57 Coronet? No. I got one from Tom that's probably too short. David, did I miss us talking about the rear end of the TRX? Yes. Dan Gold, they brought the Hemi back. They are learning. Exactly. This guy gets it. The people have spoken, and Tim Kuniskis, who was hired back out of retirement, said, yep, we can fix this. They are coming around. Johnny Grasso, can you find one of the TRX wheels or do you have to buy a set? I only have one TRX wheel. I have the factory full-size spare tire. That's all I have for TRX wheels. On the right side, it has these goofy gold aftermarket wheels that are giant. And if all four of them were there in one piece, I guess I'd rock them, but they're not what I want. So I'm planning to get factory TRX wheels. I have looked at some other aftermarket options as well that are less big and stupid. But I will probably just get stock TRX wheels. What I really, really want are the optional beadlock capable factory TRX wheels. They're way cooler looking. They're two-tone silver gray kind of, and they're just awesome. The basic black TRX and RHO, same wheels. Those you can get $800,000 for a set with tires. The other ones, double it. So I'm probably gonna get the basic ones. Hippie Long, Jamie, will you pay to get the last of the truck pulled? I will pay to have the frame fixed. The rocker, the door pillar, and all of that. I will either straighten more myself with a Porta Power. I keep trying to mix up Porta Power and Power Probe. Porta Power, once I can get my hands on one. But also, I'm planning to just buy a cut out of a cab, and it comes with the rocker section. It comes with the whole door pillar. It goes all the way up to the windshield. There's one on eBay. It's $500. Shipping is terrible, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I would like to see the European wing of Stellantis crumble. And then see the American brands come back under American ownership. But, oh, yeah, no, the Hot Shoes, that guy from Oklahoma, yeah. Mrs. Jamie wouldn't be your shipping company? God, no, are you kidding? She has way better things to do. No. Plus, I can't afford her. Talk to Dalton at Pole Barn Garage about his merch guy. Okay, so here's the thing. I can't just pick up the phone and call some random internet famous person. That's not how it works. I'll be fine. The way I do it works. What you say? What you say, me? What is your favorite metal treatment to fix the rust on the seam? Osfo. Good morning, Mattis Garage. How's it going? Here's the first part of that comment. I'm looking at a 70 Dart, had a vinyl roof. Yep, that's normal. Top has started to come off, probably from sun damage. Driving on the freeway, bits and pieces flying off. Yep. Vauxhall was GM, yeah. Was. Stuart Cody, finally got rid of my wife's POS PT Cruiser and got her a Dodge Journey. What do you think of those? You don't want to know what I think of those. Evan has sent me a link to one TRX wheel. Yeah, I saw that. It's one TRX wheel, but I need 4. Yeah, that was the spare. You see that a lot. You'll see lots of people selling one. It's the factory original spare from under the bed. But there are, last I looked, there were 3 sets of TRX wheels for sale. Excuse me, in the Northwest. Wow, Mark forgot his wife's birthday once. Next year, I celebrated it 5 days in a row. That's good. Skid E just saw Widespread Panic Friday at the Hayden Amphitheater. Hayden Homes. That's where I saw Claypool Gold. DB Garage is really digging the Joe Dirt look on the TRX. I don't really like the black and white, but I do like the worked on look. It's the only one that looks like that, so that's kind of cool. I will rock the black body panels for a while. I'm fine with that. And I know it'll look better once everything underneath excuse me, is finally cleaned up. The grill's actually attached, everything's secured, the fender liner's in, and then I have nice wheels on it. It'll be far, far better. But right now it's a little yucky. So but yeah. Jeff Hutchins said, wrap the TRX with vintage livery. I might. Or livery, or however you say that. I might. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the wrapping thing, but I could just have vinyl graphics done. Typically, I'm more of a hand-painted enthusiast. The Dogfighter, off topic, but will we ever see the Neon RT again? Interesting car. Very interesting car. So it currently belongs to my friend Byron and his wife. She needed a car. I loaned it to them. She liked it. And I traded it for my 55 Plaza sedan back, which I started a video forever ago. Have not finished it. Will we ever see it again? Probably. I've told them I want it back when they're done with it. And I really want to do a track day with it. That was like the whole thing I wanted to do. And Byron's also enthusiastic about that idea. So it may happen under their ownership. It might happen under my ownership again. I don't know. But there you go. Jeff Hutchins says the TRX looks better than any Raptor. Not that Raptors are ugly. TRX is just better looking and all around better. Well, it has a Hellcat, so it's better. I have seen Raptors I like. There's actually a dark gray Raptor at the dealership that I borrow things from and bought my truck from right now. And the guy had the fender flares, door handles, like everything on it is painted to match the dark gray colors, the same color as my Ram. And so it just looks like simple, smooth, unassuming, no giant Raptor callouts or anything like that. It looks really cool. I got a little excited when I saw that, but it is a Ford. But I agree the TRX looks better. I think they are really good looking vehicles. No rattle cans on the TRX ? From Jeff. I don't think so, although I thought about it. Jeff Hutchins says, I think the original TRX looks good from every angle. The new one's okay. They're identical. They added an SRT badge, the red Ram pass-through badge. They did, on the RHO, redesign the front bumper, and I can't remember if the redesigned bumper went to the TRX. I think it did. I don't remember. Here we go again. McLovin has sent me a link to a 2023 Ram, limited sport that his dad's going to look at. Dude, what the engine is? Stop it. Oh, that's why it's so cheap. So EcoDiesel, supposedly the latest generation, the last generation of the EcoDiesel was better. And when I was truck shopping, there were a couple EcoDiesels I was interested in going to look at because they were $10,000 cheaper than the Hemi ones for some reason. There's a reason. But having said that, that's pretty sick. The EcoDiesel has a terrible reputation because of the first generation, which had the crankset bent and broken in half or whatever. Um, the third generation one, which is what's in that truck, was supposedly better, but they still have weird diesel emissions problems. They still have intake manifold issues. Like I think they get carboned up and then you have to just replace them. Or maybe they warp or they crack. I don't even remember. I would be wary. It looks like it's a low mileage example. It looks like a really nice truck. I love diesels, but it ain't no Cummins. You need to know that. Gary Kuhn bought a 2015 Ram 5.7. Should I attempt to fix the exhaust manifold leak or just leave it? Is it worth it? Well, that all depends on how big it is. My 19 cracked the manifold and it sounded like a broken tractor. If it's that very slight leak that hardly bothers you, which my truck had when I got it, I might just leave it alone and it'll probably last a long time like that. Mine cracked big time after I towed the Barracuda to Missouri and back over mountains, hauling butt, used that thing and the exhaust got hot and it cracked like mad and it sounded terrible. So Miles Copeland misses who he was before I said eco diesel. Yep. Yes. Oh yeah. See, McLovin, the last generation is much better. So I am told. That is what I have read. His first one in 2015 was not. Just Mopar Joe had one of those and the engine blew up. He said never again. Then he got a Hemi. Weird diesel emissions problems. Easy to fix that one. Yeah. Wendy English is here. How's it going? Angelo Racino is here and says, Jamie, great job getting the TRX moving. Sorry I'm late. Thank you. And all good. Even in a really bad World War II Ford DOHC engine V8 tank. Are we talking about the... oh, God. What do they call that? Dang it. I knew what that engine was called before that comment, before reading it. But now I don't know. World War II Ford tank engine. GAA. Yeah. 1,100 cubic inch. All aluminum V8. 500 horsepower. But it's huge. I've seen one of those sitting in a Mustang. It might have been an SN95. It might have been a Fox body. I can't remember. D1 Menace, are you going to keep both pickups or are you going to sell one? For now, there is room for both in my world. Yeah. You cannot Hemi a pent roof. Well, if it's a pent roof, it's a pent roof. But if it's a Hemi, then it's a Hemi. You could put 4 valves in a Hemi. But typically, it's going to be not hemispherical. TRX is for fun. Gray Truck is for everything else. Also quite fun, which is the funny thing. That's what's so great about that truck. Doesn't look like anything, but it's plenty quick. 395 horsepower is more than anyone needs. But anyway, the TRX is going to be for fun. Like, fun. Also drag racing. Jeff Hutchins, 2 gold wheels on one side, 2 factory spares on the other. What channel am I watching anyway? Gets a TRX. Mr. Fancy Pants. Yeah, here we go. Bell James is thinking about coming out to Washington. I don't know where it is. I could look. Rich Jordan, who would you go to for door/window weather strips? I have always used steel rubber. Steele. Steel rubber. Lottery for the Charger, $100 a ticket. No. '15s are ideal. Well, they won't clear the brakes on the TRX, so. Hippie Long, what's on the sell list today, Jamie? What is on the sell list? I have a brown 1970 Swinger. I'd sell it for $800 as it sits. I have the Treon, the off-road Neon. I'd sell it for $800 as it sits. That one has a title. The brown Swinger does not. I have Alan's old 2-wheel drive truck, which we might be fixing. So I guess I probably shouldn't sell that. if someone really wanted the 57 Coronet, I would sell that. I'd rather fix it because I am in that car thousands of dollars. I probably couldn't sell it for what I have into it right now. Have a title for that. What else? Not much. There's not much I want to get rid of. 1955 Plymouth Plaza. Flathead 6, 3 on the tree, runs and drives, has some rust holes, paint's kind of ugly. Needs the radiator in the trunk installed, couple little things. But it is a driving car. I'm going to do a video on it at some point. David, questions to ask before you buy a Journey. Yeah, closely related to the Avenger of the same era. Those are okay cars. Journey. My Journey experience is this. I put an alternator in one, then the alternator failed. I put another alternator in it. The heater core plugged up on the driver's side, I believe. The heater core is inside the dash, of course, so the entire dash and everything attached to it has to be removed. That was probably an $800-900 job, and that was me doing it, which means it was cheap. The heater core, it's got dual zone, but the zones are stacked like this, and I think it's the driver's side is the bottom section, and they just plug up with gunk, and then there's no heat on the driver's side, so that sucks. That was a terrible job. Not too long after I did that, the transmission died. Jeff R., is the cut with the rocker cylinder door frame unique to TRX? No, it is the same as any DT Ram. 2019 and up. Robbie Stingle. I emailed hello to Jamie. Figured if you wanted to talk, he could email me. I do sometimes get various emails on live stream days. Dan Orcutt placed an order, but then I'm assuming your name is something else. Friend rebuilt a BBD. Runs so well now. These cars are so special. I see why you like them. Yes. Okay. Remind me to fix Dan Orcutt's orders address. Gary Kuhn, you should message Dalton from PBG. We don't just have his email address. We're not friends on Facebook. I don't understand what. Just call Steve Dulcich. Just send a text to Jay Leno. He'll answer. I don't get it. You might as well tell me to call God. Like, I don't get it. There's no phone book for YouTubers. I can't just pick one and call them. It doesn't work that way. I've emailed Freiberger. I wanted to buy that 62 he had. He did not respond. Yeah, the modern Hemi isn't really a Hemi either. It is closer to a Hemi than a Penroof is. That is very true. Opposed valves, rounded chamber, but it's got quench pads. IH, will the PT Cruiser return with a Hellcat engine? The PT Cruiser went to... Oh, do you mean in general? Like they'll start building them again? No. I'm with Overbuilt on this one. I'm really not into the big wheel chip foos stuff. Neon RT LOL? Why are we LOLing at the Neon RT? That car is fun. If you're LOLing, you haven't driven one. The GLH? What? I can't remember. What kind of horsepower did the GLH have? 175. Okay, so the Neon RT has that with no turbo. Oh, or is it like 100 and... Neon RT... horsepower. Oh, it's only 150. I lied. I will commit seppuku now. Anyway, the point is the Neon RT is super fun. And if you don't know that, it's because you haven't driven one. Yeah, Jeff Hutchins. I don't know why anyone thinks showing up at a YouTuber's house is going to ingratiate you to them. No, it's creepy. a guy found me. The last guy that found me showed up, just kind of walked up to the shop, and he knew who I was, obviously. He said, my name. So, all right, fine. And then he said, I hope it's all right if I stop by. And I said, hang on. I grabbed a sledgehammer off the bench. I put it on my shoulder. And then I said, we'll see. And then we chatted for a minute, and I put the hammer down. But it's not cool. It's not cool at all. I just saw the What No Way guy posted a video about that because someone showed up all excited because they found his house. And he was like, what the hell? Not cool. Schneids, what do you think of GM bringing back the 350 and 400? I don't care if they say that's what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. I haven't actually heard the announcement. I've heard they are developing a new small block engine, sixth gen or whatever. But, they said the LS was a small block. So I don't know what we're going to get, but it's not that. Stuart Cody messaged Freiberger to buy his 6060 100. He messaged me back, but had already sold it. See, I didn't even get that. It's messed up. Oh, well. Rooster's out. Later. Alan says the Neon RT was awesome. Yes. Neon GLH. Sledgehammer would have sent me back where I came from. Yeah. Todd Denio's here. How's it going? Roadkill would never show up at my house or anyone else's without a specific invitation. Thank you. Appreciate that. And me neither. I've knocked on doors when I've seen cool cars, but that's not like I figured out where you live and then went there. It's a very different thing. Very different thing. I've also had people send mail to the shop address. Shop address doesn't get mail. I would never have anything delivered there, ever. So if you figure out what the shop address is and then send something there, we have a problem because I didn't ask for it. Anyway, there are absolutely people who have said, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Would you mind if I stop by and said hi and shook hands and, whatever. And I've been fine with that. But again, I'm asked. I know what to expect. I know whatever. Anyway. JT Hammond, who is a member, thank you, says, I like the electric guitars and the drums in the background. Me too. We're in my studio right now. Not that I do much studio stuff in here, really. I've done some mixing in here lately. Actually, the Morning Orange album is almost completely mixed at this point. But anyway. Kevin Ferguson, not trying to bother you, but can you send me information on the two cars you said you would sell? A Dart Swinger and the other one I missed. I'm sorry, I'm not going to send you details. There is a video on a yellow 2003 Neon on the channel. You could check that out. It's got all the details you need. The brown 1970 Dart Swinger has not been in a video yet. It does not have a title. It does not have a drivetrain. It was rescued from a junkyard. I bought it for some parts. It's a pretty good car. I would like the parts, but I don't really need them. I could also swap the ones off my Blue Dart. That was my plan. We did decide we should probably put a drivetrain in it and do cool stuff, make it a whole car, save it. I'm not opposed to doing that. If I put a drivetrain in it, it will be significantly more than $800. So there you go. Lang Conley says, the only autocross car I've ever seen flip onto its roof was a Neon. That's sick. Dean Stevenson, the LS was just a Cleveland copy. I've heard that before. But the Cleveland's canted valve and the LS is wedge. So what? How do you figure? LT Chevy LT head. Are those canted? Are they? Oh yeah, they're this, right? Right? I think so. Or are they? I don't know. I've just realized I don't actually care that much. It's cyber stalking up until it's stalking. Yeah. The LS is not a Cleveland copy. They just have similar bolt patterns. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Robbie Stingle just got my Snap-on roll cart last week. Nice. What's a Kevin Yates? I don't know what that is. Hands on cars. Oh, that guy. Isn't he... Wait, that's Kevin Tetz. If LS copied the Cleveland, the 289 copied the 283. Closer to say the Cleveland and 385 Series Fords are a copy of the big block Chevy. Even closer to say they're all copies of the Poly. Yeah, LS has more in common with the Chrysler Reg than the Cleveland. Exactly what Wheelie King said. Interestingly enough, the... what was I going to say? Third gen Hemi definitely borrowed from the LS quite a bit. There's no mistaking that. Floyd's Garage. Organized my girlfriend's garage so I could put my Valiant in there. Hasn't noticed my car's not in the parking lot. Opened the garage for me with her code. Walked away without seeing it. Okay. Barry Kuda. Jamie, can I stay at your house for 2 or 3 weeks? No more than 4 next summer. I'm not reading that last part. No. JT Hammond, I'm going to be getting a vehicle soon. I was wondering what Dodge car or truck you think I should choose. Whatever you can get. I assume we're talking about classics. Heard rumors decades ago LS was a Roush design. Ford didn't want it. He sold it to GM. I doubt all of that. The Poly was a good head design. They stopped developing it because a wedge was cheaper and made acceptable power. LT head to Cleveland block swap. Have you seen the LS headed 300? That's sick. Incredible. Kevin Ferguson said, I really like your channel and greatly appreciate your advice. Can't wait for your book. Thank you. Appreciate that. I can't wait either, to be done with it. It's going well. It's going a lot faster now. Excuse me. Robert, shop has a different address than the house ? Yeah, it's on a different lot. It is very near to the house. But yeah, 2 addresses. 2 power bills. I said hi to Todd Denial, right? I think I did. Sander Winnicott, suspension kit recommendation for 66 D200 ? If a suspension kit exists for that truck, I don't know where to find it. Call God what? Nice. Some Edward stories? Who's Edward? T1 Menace. Think of all the money you would have to put into your high-end builds if you sold some of the junk builds. No. No. So a while back when I was talking about buying the neighbor's house, I explained all this. My Charger is like the only thing that I have that's worth money. The Demon's worth actually a lot more than the Charger is now. That's another story. Those 2 cars are worth money. The other cars are not worth money. I could sell every piece of garbage I have here and it wouldn't equate to half a Charger. That is a silly thing to say. Buy them cheap, stack them deep. Driveway of Misfits has heard the 4-speed automatics in the Journey are rather problematic. Yes, I'm sure they are. Scott Sullivan, I don't hear about you using the Ram truck anymore. Is that something you should sell realistically? I offered it for sale for $10,000 in my State of the Fleet video, in which I offered 5 or 6 different rigs for sale. That was in December. Not one person reached out to me about buying it. I might even negotiate a little bit. I like the ramp truck. I am not using it right now because the rear end is failing. It needs all the U-joints. It's needed the manual swap for the entire time I've had it. There are other things it needs as well. Johnny Grassa, the Black Shorty D150 is not mine. Taking the TRX to Moab, ? Asks Classic Dude Mike. I would like to do that, actually. James Frank says, I enjoy your inclusion of errand running in vehicles from your stable, such as in today's video. It's neat to see them in use and not just as static displays. Yeah, I use them. I drive them and enjoy them. I can't say I drive a Classic every day. Honestly, I own a Ram 1500 with almost 400 horsepower and heated and ventilated seats and a great stereo. So I have no reason to drive any Classic, but the mood strikes me pretty frequently. Perky was my everyday car for the first couple weeks after I finished it. The problem is I can't take kids anywhere in it because it does not have seat belts. So that's a problem. I drive the Jeep periodically. I would drive the black truck a lot if it was drivable. The Demon is always buried in the shop and now it's in pieces. The Barracuda doesn't drive on the street. I take the Charger out every few weeks, let's say, when it's nice. I do not drive it every day. Robbie Stingle wants to know. Oh, yep. There's the LS headed 300. Hell yeah. Hippie Long thinks Perky deserves the new Hemi and AC. No. That sounds like a great way to ruin the value of Perky. And the fun and everything that makes it special and cool. Robbie Stingle, do you think shackles suck? They are terrible for handling and they ruin leaf springs, but they are cool. Yeah, Eco Diesel situation sounds like the Olds Diesel debacle. Probably pretty similar. Schneids, tips to do exhaust manifolds on a 70s engine with bolt heads that are round. Weld a nut on the bolt. Or get some of them, what I call stripper sockets, but the toothed twist sockets that you tap on with a hammer. 2X Hunter XX. What do you think about putting a 2JZ in a 72 Dart? I'm about to do that. Excuse me. I think it's insane, and I like where your head's at. Jeff Hutchins, wish I had more faith in the Eco Diesel. Yeah. The last generation might be better, but the reputation was so bad by that time. Johnny Grasso wishes they would make a single cab Rumblebee. You and I'm not going to say everyone else, but a good few other people also wish that. Mark Bass says the TRX will be great for handling speed bumps and potholes. You're damn right. They are well known to be great on the street. Barracuda says a lot of people don't like slot wheels these days. I will not be associating with those people. Brownie Davis has had good luck with the 2014 Eco Diesel. Isn't yours in a Jeep? Your experience is not common. Yeah, very true. Very true. JT Hammond thinks the Ram truck is pretty awesome. I love the Ram truck. It was the stuff my dreams are made of. That's why I built it. It's really cool. I just don't. I have a 2019 Ram with heated ventilated seats and great air conditioning and a nice stereo that's actually comfortable to ride in. And the Ram truck is just miserable and horrible. And I never want to cross the country in it again. At least until things are improved substantially. That's what I've learned. Josh Jesh has sent me $10 and says, I love your whole fleet. My fleet is fair, but yours rocks. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Am I going to see some license plates soon? I could use those. Yeah, AMC guy. The uninitiated aren't really aware of a classic car's value. I was once asked, if you sold all your cars, would you be a millionaire? I had to respond that I wouldn't even be a thousandaire. I am lucky. I have lucked into a couple really nice cars and then some other kind of okay ones. I currently have between, on a good day, if I sell right, between a $150,000 and $200,000 car collection. And that's awesome. And it's absurd. And all it took to do that was spending every single dollar on them. That's all. Being fully dedicated and relentless and saying to hell with financial stability. So yeah, it's not like I could sell all the cars and retire. I did joke, or was it a joke, about selling everything and taking the next couple years off. But yeah, it's not, there's not that much. Yeah. Robert says the TRX is worth something significant as it sits. I will tell you, and I'm not proud of this, I got a good deal on the truck, but then having it delivered up here and then registering it with the state, sales tax is the thing here. So yeah, luckily they taxed me on what I paid for it, not what it is valued at, because that would have been a lot more. Parts, taxes, delivery, body parts, all of that. I am already in that truck, almost $40,000, which is a screaming deal for a TRX. But remember, it still needs a windshield and airbags and seat belts and the driver's seat fixed and paintwork and framework and wheels and tires, and the rear end might be bent and whatever else. So by the time I am done, I could have just bought one, probably. But, you know, the real TRX was the friends we made along the way. Yes, the LS headed Ford 300 uses multiple LS heads chopped apart and welded together. It's sick. Schneids, if you had to pick 1 year of an A body for someone that's never dealt with an older Dodge, what would you pick? I mean, are we talking about one that like you will like, or one that you have to work on and you want like the best, easiest? They're all the same. They're all so simple until 1974. So, I don't know. 1970 Plymouth Duster? Valiant sedan? What do you want? 1 year? It really doesn't matter. 60. The 67 to 76 generation is the most plentiful generation. The earlier cars are cool too, but the 67 and up is definitely easier to work on. I would say in that 67 to 76 range, they're all pretty good. Some are cooler and more valuable than others. That's sick. Josh has sent me another $5. Oh, yes. Plates, some money for tires, and proof of insurance. Yes. Sounds good. I just want to be able to, make some more progress on that. So, yeah, there might be a satellite for trade deal afoot. Satellite for truck trade deal afoot. And Mark's going to be jealous. What is the best cheese in Washington? It's in Oregon. Robbie Stingle said, yes, I do like watching your vids. I like the old school stuff you do. A lot of classic stuff and really are quite witty. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try. Chris says, miss my 78 Trail Duster. Cool trucks. Yeah, Wheelie King says, there is no good kit for a 66D series. That's what I figured. Scott Sullivan, why do I get Seattle's Dr. Dawn ads on YouTube? Is it your fault? I don't even know what that is. It could be my fault. Oh, Edward Van Halen. Rad. I once shook Pete Townsend's hand. It did not affect me emotionally. I once met Bill Murray. That was cool. I once hung out with, hold on, I'll remember his name. you know, that guy. What's his? I opened for him. What's his name? Rage Against the Machine guitarist. I can't even remember his name. He was cool, kind of. My point. I am not impressed. Seatbelt repair for locked and post-accident seatbelts. Huh. Oh, it's just a repair service. Well, I'm going to try and do it myself, but we'll see. We will see. My sister put up a link to the Discord. Feel free to join the Discord. I did notice that at least one person has done that tonight. Yes, Tillamook. Yes, the best cheese in Washington is in Tillamook, Oregon. Yep. JT Hammond. I'm thinking about getting a first-gen Dodge. Cool. But I'm also considering a Charger like the General E Charger. Have you priced those? You can consider it if you like, but I paid well over 50 grand for mine and then invested a bunch more in it. Just saying. I'm considering getting a Lamborghini, but anyway, or a Ferrari, or I'm considering getting a jumbo jet. There you go. Hellcat T600. Who said that? Rob Fitch, A-Body 65 or newer because firewall. 64 is when they revised the firewall. But 67 is when they widened the engine compartment. MC Guy says, with the cost of parts today, it's almost not worth fixing up old cars or even newer used cars. Parts are expensive. Food is expensive. Gas is expensive. Everything's expensive. It's still worth fixing an old car. And there is a way to do that, even today, on a budget, if you're thrifty and you know how to find stuff. I'm not saying it's easy. It sucks. Everything sucks. Everything is expensive. Everything's dumb. I make more money now than I've ever made in my life, and I need more to do what I want to do. It's the future's dumb. But anyway, the point is, yes, things are expensive. It sucks, but it is absolutely worth fixing up old vehicles. It still is. Yeah. Schneids, you not wanting to drive the ramp truck because of the new Ram is why I refuse to buy a vehicle past 2000. I would get too comfy and not want to drive the old stuff. I like being comfy. I have no regrets on that. I love those old vehicles. I spend a lot of time on them. I've dedicated my life to it, but I also kind of like being comfortable and being able to rely on what I'm driving, kind of. JT Hammond, I've seen a lot of 70s Chargers that I've been thinking about getting. Okay, see, that's very different than a General Lee 69 Charger. D1 Menace, do you still fix mail trucks? Nope, I quit. I told them I'm done. Gary Hergert says the ramp truck grew the channel. I mean, it did something, but Alan says quit talking about my ramp truck. Yeah. Miles Copeland misses the Cobra replica. Me too, dude. Me too. Jeff Hutchins has the mailing address. Probably could find you. I live like 3 hours away. I'm not going to. That's just weird and rude. Jeff, if you emailed me and said, hey, I'm going to be in the area, do you mind if I stop by? I would have said, come on over. But if you just showed up, yeah, it would be kind of weird. I don't think you would do that. Bring back single cab trucks. I understand that some people want them. I think they should be available, but I don't like single cab trucks, really. They have their place. Don't get me wrong. I like a Tingro with a single cab. That's fine. But it's useless to me in day-to-day life. It is useless. I need a back seat. So, what do I even do with that? And I think there are buyers. I mean, Tim Kuniskis has explained this in interviews. I would love to build a single cab Rumblebee, and we'd sell 5 of them. Anyway. Wow. Mark has put over 4,000 miles on the Barracuda since he got it back from me. That's awesome. I haven't put 4,000 miles on anything since you got that back from me. Yeah, Brian L. said Hellcat D600. You could probably smoke the tires on that. I don't think it would be a problem. Yeah, AMC guy says Perky will wind up in a museum one day. That's where it belongs. The ramp truck is pretty awesome for sure. Do any of the junkers have working AC? No. Oh, it's T. I don't know if he's still here, but T dropped in and said, greetings, salutations. Been a minute since I've had a chance to get on the live, but I'm driving with time on my hands. Opportunity knocked and I answered. Enjoying the show. Thank you, T. Thanks for dropping in. Sorry I missed your comment for a bit there. Oh, Vivian's here. She must have heard me talking about her. I don't even remember what I said. Oh, Backwoods Prague. Yeah. Best tool company to buy from. Best how? Do you want really high quality or do you want cheap? I mean, or do you want okay? Vivian says the guitarist of the Blues Fairies once played with the Who. That's sick. I got a picture of the guy I was with and Bill Murray. I did not get a picture with him, which I do regret, actually. Yes, Tom Morello. Jesus Christ. I still have his assistant's phone number in my phone. I don't know if it works anymore. Time to buy another cherry picker, asks John Smith. I have another one. Just used it in a video. Oh, Hippie Long. I have a perfect 65 Barracuda Commando 4-speed calling your name. Gold stripes? I want to get it to the right hands. Okay, here's the thing. I really want a Commando 4-speed car. I really do. There is not much room in my fleet, and I am still TRX poor, like very TRX poor. I would love to hear more about that. And you can email me at deaddodgegarage@gmail.com. Jeff Hutchins says the TRX makes a perfectly good daily driver, family hauler, and can tow decently. Yes. Fuel mileage isn't awesome, but it could be worse. Yes. The gray Hemi does all that, but better. That's the thing. There's a cat. It's time to go anyway, but then you couldn't make videos fixing it. Well, that's very true. Floyd's Garage, is there any way you could become a dealer and get around taxes? It's not worth it. Cat, get over it. Carnitas 98.95. Besides adding a shunt wire / fusible link, do you recommend doing anything else when adding a 140 amp Power Master alternator to a 72 satellite? For that, for 140 amp, do not do the shunt wire alone. Delete the original charge circuit, delete the amp gauge, and run a 140 amp. Hang on. DC ampacity chart. You need it might be 6 gauge, definitely 8 gauge. Hold on, I can't read. 140 amp, 10 gauge for 2 foot, 4 gauge. You need to run a 4 gauge charge wire from your alternator output to the battery, and you either need to run that through an 8 gauge fusible link or like a 150 amp inline fuse. Do not get that 140 amp alternator anywhere near the amp gauge. Just delete that circuit entirely. Go look at the Mad Bypass. That's probably a good idea for you. But absolutely use a big, fat charge wire. Being starstruck is goofy. And that's the thing. I hope it doesn't hurt anyone's feelings when I say I don't care what famous people you have met or if you shared a drink or if they signed your baby. I just don't care. Maybe I'm jaded or whatever. There are famous people I would love to meet, like Mr. Claypool, for example. I would love to meet him. But also, I'm not going to say what I was thinking. I just don't care. They're just people. Yeah, Spark Knock Garage kind of got the vibe of what I was saying. Considering getting a second gen charger. Well, I'm considering getting a pony and an in-ground pool. I love that. Oh, Mark, you're not in the penalty box. Just don't tell people where I live. Anyway, it's not like we can double our money, and let us all be thankful for that. You know what? The market has a way of solving certain problems. So now that it's harder to fix old cars, project cars are becoming cheaper again. You know, that's not so bad. Jeff Hutchins wants a 67 to 9 Dart. Yes. Yeah, used parts whenever possible. That's what I was talking about, Spark Knock Garage. 100%. Robert says the 71 C-Body is comfortable. I drove Tom's 72 Polara Cop car hoping that I would really like it and it would be super comfy and I would enjoy driving it so much that then I would get one of those instead of a more modern, luxurious vehicle. Sorry, can't do it. You don't have to call me Waylon Jennings. 35-year Union stagehand. Hippie Long. Huh. The ramp truck did get me on the cover of MCG, but it wasn't necessarily just that. And also, the number of like subscribers or views I got out of that, impossible to quantify, but it wasn't. It's not like it. I mean, I've been watching the analytics of this channel since day one, daily, until now. No, the ramp truck didn't ruin the channel. No, Gary said it like made the channel, like boosted the channel. It didn't do that much. It did something, but anyway. AMC guy would never show up unannounced or without copious amounts of beer, hot dogs, and Jarritos. And AMC guy has my address too, so yeah. JL, what carb do you recommend for a stock 360 from 1977? Just a 2-barrel. Well, 360 is the big pattern if you're using a factory 2-barrel manifold. I always go for an Edelbrock 650 and a 4-barrel manifold, but if that's not what you want to do, you're limited to carbs that fit on that intake, and I can't tell you what all of them are. The DB Garage is here. Was an expensive weekend. Bought a pair of Viper seats for my Duster. Found a set of new QA1 upper arms locally. That's expensive. Maybe a truck isn't the best family car. Wrong. 100% wrong. That crew cab, full crew, 2019 Ram is the perfect family car. Flat floor, easy to get in. Both the girl in a seat fits with this much room to my front seat. It's awesome. We can fit a friend or a cousin or whatever, or there's a center console that folds down and it hides stuff and it holds drinks. They have charging ports back there. There's just so much room. It's fantastic. It's like having a big SUV or a minivan, but you don't have to own a minivan, and it has the utility of a truck, and it's rated to tow 10,000 pounds. But also, it has 4-wheel drive and almost 400 horsepower. The fuel economy is decent. It's not amazing, but it's decent, for something like that. It looks good. It's super fun to drive. It's capable. It'll go anywhere. And family, dogs, it is fantastic for a family vehicle. A modern crew cab truck. An old single cab is not that, and that is the problem. One of these trucks is a Swiss Army knife. It's all things to all men. It can do anything. I could drag race that truck. It wouldn't be TRX fast, but it would be, fun. 400 horsepower, 395, but whatever. 8-speed automatic. Hemi sounds. I mean, there's just so much to like about it. And did I mention the front seat is quite a nice place to be? Little Johnny, if you were on death row, what would be your last meal? I mean, steak? My sister is my sister, and she doesn't even show up uninvited. She used to. Might have got her bit by a dog or something. Sounds like a minivan by your description. Exactly! It does everything a minivan does, but you don't have to drive a damn minivan. Oh, yes. Rum runner compartments. Anyway. O'Reilly is buying Napa. Someone told me Advanced is trying to buy Napa. I'll believe either when I see it. O'Reilly buying Napa sounds weird. Mopar Bob says the only famous people I'd like to meet would be you. I don't think I'm famous. Okay, here's how I know I'm not famous. I was recently at Byron and Katie's 10-year anniversary bash out to pasture where they cooked an entire pig. I'm going to leave soon, by the way. I was talking to some people about trucks, RHOs. Met a guy that used to be a salesman, sold Rams and stuff, new TRXs. He said, yeah, we sold a few of those. Really cool. Liked them, yada, yada. We were just trading stories and stuff. And then he said, well, how'd you get to just drive an RHO and a new Charger and that kind of stuff? And I was like, oh, I'm a semi-famous YouTuber. And my wife and my brother both laughed. And that's how I know I'm not actually famous. Anyway, me, Tim, yeah, Nick, Mopar Joe, great guy. Love that guy. I wish I lived closer to that guy. Really like hanging out with him. And Uncle Tony. I like that guy too. The great thing about those people, and again, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about people and famous people in general. They're just people. I've met them. They're just people. And Uncle Tony is someone who I've learned a lot from and respect and look up to for sure, in many avenues, Mopar and YouTube related. But still, it's not like I was, will you sign my baby? Would you, Anyway. I think he would probably also say, I think every one of those people would say they are not famous. Bill O'Reilly's buying Napa, California. Okay. What is it that Tom said that one time? Minor internet celebrity. Yeah, that was yes, exactly. Semi-famous, yes. I might have not said semi at the time. I honestly don't remember. I might have said I was internet famous or something. Whatever I said, they laughed. Infamous. Yeah, that too. Jeffrey Jr. agrees with what I said about the four-door Ram. I have an 84 Prospector and a newer Ram. And that's the thing. I love, Tin Grills. They're some of my favorite trucks. But, yeah, I'm telling you, and I'm not just saying this because it's not a Ford or because it came from the company I like. That is an awesome vehicle. Friday, I was talking to, Connor was here. Yeah, Connor helped me at the very end of the TRX video. And I said, who needs a Cadillac when you got this? And then a Cadillac drove by. And I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, the Ram 1500 is the car I want. When that thing dies, I'm going to have to buy another 2019 Ram. No, who wants a minivan? Who that would be hanging out here wants a minivan? Anyway. All Tavo wants is a small block and a torque flight for an A-body. I'd trade you for a Hemi 6, but again, I still don't know how we're shipping it. Jeff Hutchins would like to meet Peg. Nice. Dan Peters, 4-doors suck. So tell me you never had kids without telling me. Or if you did, it was in the time before car seats. All Hunter wants is a running car at this point. Why are you doing a 2J swap then? That's insane. Do something easy. Yes, pre-2025 DT Ram. I was going to say that. I was going to say it doesn't have to be a 2019, but before the Stellantis update. Maybe those are good. I don't know. But the 2019 to 24 DT Ram, so good. Before it got all the self-driving and the big giant screen, they could have radar cruise. I wish mine had that. But anyway. Yep. Robert just thinks there are better all-around family cars sold today. Name one. Is it a sedan? No. I'll hit my head every time. I hit my head in the Jeep and the kid's head every time I have to put her in a baby seat in that. Don't have that problem in the Ram. A normal car. I mean, Jesus, I put her in the back of my Challenger for a while. Nope, that was awful. Other SUVs, yes, but they don't have the utility that I need. So, like, it's just, if I could only have one vehicle, it would be that. Screw everything else, it would be that. I heard Crap was buying Napa. Tom is well known in certain circles. That's what I usually say. If someone tries to say I'm famous or whatever, I am well known in certain circles. All right, well, modern vehicles don't have 8-track players. Well, Hellcat Durango. Almost looked at a modern Durango. Glad I didn't. 4-door Charger sucks. I disagree, but okay. It is a minivan with 4-wheel drive with a bed with 400 horsepower that can tow 10,000 pounds. Yep. Also, it looks like a truck. Yeah. I'm not saying that the 2025s and 6s are bad and you shouldn't buy one. I might, actually, but I think the 19 to 24 is kind of a golden age. I think it doesn't have the Stellantis in it. You know what I mean? Stellantis update. They changed the dash. It has a big screen in it now, at least on the fancier models. It's just getting more Stellantis-y, you know? Anyway. Active Cruise is the best option. Yes. Excuse me. Floyd's Garage's dad owned O.J. Simpson's Dodge Diplomat wagon. For some reason, I thought you were talking about a car from The Simpsons, and then I was going to say, Canyonero! Canyonero! Yeah, if I had 4 kids, I'd be screwed, but luckily, no. Yeah, do they even sell cars in the U.S. anymore? Exactly. Yeah, DB Garage gets it. I am, in fact, just a real guy with real problems. McClellan asked quite a while back now what the plan is for the week. iPad dash disease, 100%. 100%. Every new vehicle that just looks like they slapped not only an iPad here, like I get that, but now the dashes are iPads as well. No. Thank you. No. I would like to have gears. Thank you. Gauges, I mean. 75 dart for 8,500? That's too many hundreds. Awkward pause or mouth organ? Or perhaps you would like to touch my glittery ball. Oh no, all 3 of Brandon Pixley's XJs are down. That's not good. Dead XJ Garage. Hell yeah. Josh Jesh loves his 96 Suburban on 35s and dual glass packs for everything I do. I have no kids, but I haul a lot of tools. Yep. Slant 6 build when? I am done with Slant 6s. I am not doing Slant 6s anymore. I'm done with them until I change my mind. Yeah, 8,500 is a lot of hundreds. That better be a mint 75 swinger for that. Anyway, videos this week. Nissan Altima. Oh, God. The only sedan that's had steady growth. So have they not heard about the CVTs? If you're done with Slant, sell it or give it away and tell me who it is so I can watch them work on it. We're not 20 minutes over. I've only been on for 2:05 because I started late. And no, it's not a record. Yes, Silvertones. I love Silvertones. I love them so much. I put that one on that poster. Also my Les Paul. Videos this week. Is a 72 Charger Rally worth it for $800? It's worth so much more than $800. I'm going to assume it's a piece of garbage. Hybrids of the future, I don't disagree. Turbo Slant, I've offered to sell it to someone in this very live stream. I hope he buys it. I might bring it back someday, but I don't really want to. My neck hurts. It's time to go. This week, Engine Wednesday will either be the next installment on Mark's Mexican GTS, the next installment on my blue 1970 Swinger with a big block and a 4-speed, or it'll be something totally different. I still need to do an engine teardown on the 318 out of Mark Start, so I might do that. I've got McLovin's 340 in the position to work on. All of these things need to happen. But, you know, in good time, Reginald. And then next Sunday, I don't actually know yet. One of the other things that I just said, probably. Hippie Long, I don't see an email from you. So it's deaddodgegarage@gmail.com. Double check. Perky running unused motor oil, not yet. Paul McCartney said he's got around 200 guitars. Well, he's got me beat. And now for something completely different. We need more Blue Dart content. Oh, I know. It's coming. I want that to happen. Turbikins. I don't know when Turbo Perky's going to happen because it's just working so good, you know? Yes, Tom Hergert's car that Gary took to a car show today in Langley won an award. Have a great week, Dan. I will see you in the comments. Robbie Stingle's going to break into Cam Friday. Awesome. I don't know what's for dinner. Maybe leftover pizza from set stuff. But I'm ready for it. So I'm going to go Polaris Slingshot review when? Never. Hunter sent me $5. Thank you, Hunter. I appreciate that. Have my money. Take my money. Grease Belly Garage. I love my Excursion. I'll never sell it, but I get asked all the time. It's a diesel one because those are sick. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Oh, Martin Adams is doing boiler stuff this week. I wish I was doing boiler stuff. We'll do a Steam 318 someday, I think. Dan Peters says, somebody in the past taught you well, trained. I'm self-taught. I never really had like a mentor or trainer or anything like that. Just kind of did it. But I'm nuts. So, okay, I'm out. I'm in. I'm out. Whose kidneys are these? Yeah. I don't know if you can even see it. It's orange and black and yellow. It's already black on the bottom. This might have to happen. I think vintage, if you could see it, and you know how cool it is. The light's too bright. But anyway. It would be sick. Bye. And remember, flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. Till next week, same bat time, same bat channel. I will not see Peter tomorrow. Well, that's lame, but fine. Night. Bye. Seizure next week. Thanks, everybody. I'm out. Later.